Balling. All right, let's get this fucking thing going. All right. All right, guys. Welcome to the Producer's Corner, number 8, with the legend Josh Modestep. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. For those of you who have not been before, we'll be going strictly production stuff tonight. I'm going to put in the chat the Q&A. Join the Discord and drop your questions, and we'll all answer them, or Josh will answer them towards the end. And shout out to Uber Kid for all the fucking sub gifts. That's crazy. You're a legend. All right. Without further ado, also, Josh is doing this for free, so if you want to donate, Venmo at Josh Modestep at any dollar counts. So let's do it. Oi. There he is.
Hey. Yo.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your mic's a little loud, but it works perfect. Your camera looks flawless. You look beautiful.
Thank you, man. It's an expensive camera. That's literally.
I was gonna ask you earlier what camera you have, because like sometimes I get compliments on my camera, and yours is just you have a real camera.
It's like a Sony, like a.
Right, you have a camera. You have a real camera.
Yeah, it's cheating. It's cheating.
Cheating a little bit, but it looks incredible.
Thank you, dude.
Cool. Well, welcome to the Producer's Corner. This is number 8, man. I'm fucking happy we got to figure it out.
I know. How many months did it take us? Sorry about the wait, anyone who waited for this one.
I think it was December 20th was the original date.
Right, not too bad. Not too
bad.
3 months.
Josh had to just upgrade his whole computer situation. Now he's beyond sorted.
Yes, that was literally the day it all died. Was that day? So.
I know. I feel partially guilty.
No, you pushed me. You pushed me in a place I needed to go.
Like, okay.
Flying for a while, yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad.
Well, shit. Well, great. All right. So before we get into the production stuff, I want to just chat with you a bit about you and Modestep.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a little background for? I mean, we've got a bunch of fans in the Twitch chat, but even me, I'm just curious about the Modestep story and how everything started.
Oh man. All right. So. Probably around like 2008, 2009, I heard like some of the original dubstep tunes. And,
right.
At the time, I was just a producer. I was making like not that much of electronic music, more like producing bands and writing pop. And I was producing like hip hop and doing like a lot of session work in studios, like recording people, running like management stuff, doing all sorts. And when I heard dubstep, I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, how the fuck is all of this? Like, how's it made? I didn't really understand it because, like, I didn't come from an electronic music background. So, like, hearing all these sounds and, like, whomps and wobbles and shit, I was just like, I need to know how to do this. So, like, the first attempt that I ever made, I guess, at making dubstep was, like, Sunlight to the Stars and this other tune called XR, which I think like the first tune XR was like this. We sampled Enya, and we managed to get hold of UKF Luke, and we sent him this tune, and Enya didn't like the fact that it was online and copyrighted and removed it.
No.
We were pissed because it got like 1 million views overnight. It was
Fuck.
Like so many views, and then it got removed the next day. But Luke was like, yo, like that was hype. Is there any more music? And then we sent him Feel Good, and he UKF signed that. And off the back of that, Radio 1, for one reason or another, picked it up and just started playing it all day, every day. At this point, I've still got a job at the Apple Store. Like I'm just doing this like a side hustle. Like all music stuff was just kind of side hustle because I didn't have the time. I was just working to pay rent and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly out of nowhere, Radio 1 just starts playing this tune. And then I just had to follow it up. And then from there, like major record labels got interested because we were on daytime radio in the UK. We ended up getting signed to Universal Records.
Has it always been you and Pat?
No, so originally it was me, my brother, and two other people. Although to be honest, it was kind of always me and my brother at the start, and then we kind of like switched out musicians for the live show. But it was kind of like me and my brother who were like the founders of the group, as it were.
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, my brother left. Pat joined in like 2014, something like maybe
Okay.
13.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my brother left in like 2017, and then it just became the two of us. So now Pat is like, yeah, it's just me. It's just me and Pat. But a lot of the music side, like the actual production and making the tunes, it's always been me. I've always been the one to write and make and produce all the tunes. So
Okay.
even from day one, when there was like a bunch of us playing on stage, it was always kind of like me writing the music and producing the music.
So I remember seeing videos of you guys performing on stage, and I felt like I lived very far away from you. I don't know why I remember thinking that, but
Yeah, I mean, you did.
I did, and now we don't live so far. Well, now we kind of live far away, but there was a moment where we lived close to each other. But yeah, it's been awesome to see your journey. I mean, I've been a Modestep fan since I started, and I love. There's not many people that were around back then that are still not just around now, but have found ways to kind of develop and change and progress and thrive.
Times, I guess.
Right, exactly. And I feel like the Modestep music now is better.
Thank you. Yeah,
Which is like, I think
I agree.
it sounds like a simple concept, but you know that's I think a big awesome thing is like
Yeah.
you
No,
continue to progress and
agree.
grow.
And I think that like at the start, I was a novice in the production stuff. So like, I mean, you can hear it in the early records. I had no idea what I was doing mix down wise. We're talking like Sunlight took me 3 months to mix down. Like, I knew what I wanted to hear. So, and there was no YouTube tutorials. There was no people giving you secrets. There was no nothing. It was me I was on like drum and bass forums till 4 a.m. every night, trying to find little snippets of text that you could somehow transform into sound. Like,
Right.
that's only like someone would say, well, put this through this and this and this, and then like it seems like that's easy and that's how it's done, but there's always something, some knack, some way that the plugins are arranged, or something that you don't get when it's just written on a forum, you know.
Have you always sang?
Yeah, so I've always sung from like super young age, and before Modestep, I was like in bands, and I had like a solo project, and I'm actually thinking about bringing back like a solo project that's just kind of singy, not bass music at all. That just kind of like handles a bit of that stuff, because I feel like since we moved to America and people aren't as like vocal centric over here, it's more like the rhythm thing, the hard sound design. So a lot of the vocal stuff has kind of been put away to one side for some of the tunes. You know, there's a bunch of tunes that are just instrumental.
Sure.
So yeah, I feel like maybe at some point there'll be like another Alias or something that's just vocal stuff.
Cool. Well, I look forward to hearing that. Dope. So let's get into it. So we're going to do, for everyone watching, we are going to do a walkthrough of, wait, which one are we doing? Lost My Way.
That's the one.
That's the one. All right, cool. So why don't we do a screen share real quick and send me that link in the chat.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And like I said, for everyone in the chat, if you have questions, drop them in Discord here.
Have you got the same link from last time? It shouldn't have changed.
Oh, really? No, I don't have it.
It
should be on there.
Chat. I think I have to
it's
unshare my screen to do this.
Yeah, I think on PC it's Alt H, but
okay. Nope. Okay, hold up.
okay.
Cool.
Pull this up. All right, let's do a little check here.
Should I play something?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Yep, we're good.
Cool. I'm gonna turn that down on my headphones.
Yeah, it's smashing.
It's loud. Should I turn it down like here as well for you?
I mean, it sounds fine. If anything, I would turn your mic down a tiny bit.
Okay,
If
cool.
you could do that.
Is that better?
A little
About the
bit.
same.
Kind of the same. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, that's sounding better now. There we go.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So what I would like to do is just kind of not only just kind of walk through the different sections of the track, but also just kind of your thought process behind songwriting, and maybe we can go into sound design stuff. I would just love to start at the beginning, and maybe we can do like a quick like intro through first drop listen, just so everyone
Yeah,
knows the tune we're going through.
It all feels empty without you. This feeling's ripping me apart. It all feels so empty without you, without you. Leaving me in the dark. I think I lost I think I lost I think I lost
Cool.
So fucking the energy is insane on this track.
Thank you, man. Thank you. This was I actually wrote this entire tune in like 5-6 hours, something like.
Really, it'd be like that.
It's like like third or fourth tune that I've made using this kind of like sample pack mentality, where like basically everything from this pack, other than about 3 or 4 sounds, are from my sample packs, and there's very little actual sound design going on in the project. Yeah, this is like I'd say 90% my sample pack.
So you're thinking, put in the work, sound design days, so that when it's time to write, you just like, what is the ratio for you as far as a week goes between like how do you divide up your time?
I spend a lot more time making sounds, especially like since all the lockdown and stuff like that. I've been a little bit uninspired just to make music, and I've taken that time to just build libraries and libraries of samples that yeah, that's basically how I'm spending my time. And then when it comes to being creative, I find like if I feel like I'm in a creative mood, I've got so many samples to pick from. I know that like a lot of it's really good. I know where the best samples are. And yeah, I've done like a lot of the hard lifting as far as like producing a tune is concerned.
You've just become a wizard at making sample packs at this point.
Yeah, that has been like the main like learning curve, is actually just getting the samples out and getting them like fairly high quality and doing it and just getting lots and lots and like making these like rinse and repeat templates. So I've got like hundreds of templates of like one template just for making like one type of acid bass, one template for a type of Reese bass, one template for like white noise stuff. Like I've
Really?
templates for everything, and then those templates either have like randomization in them, or they've just got macros for me to go and just play and make as many noises as possible. And then I bounce
Interesting.
all of that out to audio. I very rarely save patches, which I know is kind of like probably bad on my part, but I just take everything as audio, like as low notes, so like C, D, D sharp, E, those kind of notes. Then if I need to pitch them up, like the audio's there, the information's there to be able to pitch them up.
Dope. Well, maybe towards the end we'll get to go over the sample pack, which drops tomorrow. I got the link in here. It's popping up. The new Modestep sample pack. Splice.com tomorrow. Is it midnight tonight? Is that possible? Or
I think so.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in a few hours, actually.
Let me spam the link in the chat here. All right, cool. Well, why don't we start at the beginning? I'm curious about one thing I wanted to talk to you about just in general was writing lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious about your approach to like lyric concepts and where you start and like how that goes for you.
Yeah. This one's a weird one, actually. This is kind of like a strange backwards way of writing a song. So it started by like the tagline "Lost My Way" is from the sample pack. So I think if I look at
so even the vocal concept came from the sample pack.
The vocal concept came from the sample pack, and then I went back and I was like, okay, "Lost My Way." What does that mean to me? And then I wrote all the verses around that whole subject. So like all the verses are recorded for this specifically, but the rest of it, like the actual tagline here is it's. The actual sample should be show in browser. There we go.
Oh, that's right. We can't hear your sample browser.
Oh, you can't hear the browser?
No.
Okay, let me just drag it into a thingy bob. There we go.
Oh yeah, your shit is zooming now.
What's that?
Your computer is zooming.
Yep.
I think I lost my way.
So that was the sample. That I chopped it in as if I was doing using a sample, and then went back and wrote all of these verses. But that's not that typical, I guess. But it did make writing a song a lot easier when there was just a subject already there. But usually I pick a subject first, so it will be something that everyone can kind of relate to, and something that's usually related to clubbing and youth and culture that we're involved in,
Sure.
just something along those lines, and then try and fit a story around either my experience or something that's happened to me, or something I can imagine happening to one of my friends or someone close to me, something like that.
Right. So one thing that I talk about a lot with some of the people that I teach is just lyric writing, and I find that a lot of the students that I have struggle with because they feel like everything that they write needs to be something that they've gone through, or it needs to be something super emotional, and I don't feel like that's necessarily the truth.
No, it's not. And I actually doing it the other way around can be really beneficial. Take Arctic Monkeys, for example. They were a totally different band before their biggest album, and the biggest album, he just put this character on. He invented this character, this whole backstory, and then he just method acted it throughout the recording process and became that guy. And then in all his interviews from then on, he's been this character, and it's worked wonders for them because clearly this character is more interesting than him, or you can create whoever you want.
Sure. And I'm sure there's an element of less maybe nerves, or because you're not really exposing your
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I didn't know that story. That's dope. I'm curious about vocal processing and what you like to do for vocal processing.
All right.
I know that's a bit of a subject there, but
No. That's all good. So I cheat so much, man. I use this Waves vocal, this Maserati VX1, which does so much of the heavy lifting.
I have this plugin, but I never use it.
It's it's been my secret sauce for 10 years on all my vocals.
Whoa.
I use it for everything, man.
Okay.
Let me show you with and without.
Without you.
Okay, that's not something worth playing. Hold up.
Without you.
Where's the lead?
It all feels empty without you.
Okay, so without this plugin,
It all feels empty without you.
and then with it,
It all feels
Oh wow.
without you.
I don't know what it's doing. Some magic compression that, yeah. I've tried to like I tried to emulate it using Ableton's plugins, and I got kind of close. And actually, if anyone wants that rack, on the Disciple YouTube channel, I did like a vocal processing tutorial thing, and
Oh, cool.
gave it away for free on that. So if anyone wants that, it's kind of close. But for some reason, this Maserati thing just has like, I don't know, it just makes everything stand really close to the front of the mix. I haven't been able to find any other compressor that does exactly that. So
Cool. Sweet. So what is the what's this lustrous plugin that you have at the end there?
ooh, this is also my new go-to reverb, Lustrous Plates.
Okay.
It's a slate thing.
Ooh.
Also extremely nice, like plate reverbs, and it does it with like impulse responses. So this thing is like super nice.
It all feels empty without you.
Just do the wet.
It all feels empty without you. All feels empty without you. All feels empty without you.
Just like really musical and warm
Sure.
plate reverb.
But in a convolving way, since it's
Yeah. It's all
input
all,
impulse.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
all impulse driven, but just their specific impulses that they want you to have. I guess
Gotcha.
It's based on something real. I have no idea.
Cool.
But yeah, so I'll layer up a vocal. I usually have like a center vocal, which is the lead vocal, and then I'll have like a left and right, which is doing pretty much exactly the same thing, but a little like performed slightly back, so it sits further back as a like backing vocal, and then
It all feels empty without you.
that kind of fills out like the stereo spectrum.
So those are different takes.
They're all different takes, yeah.
Okay.
And usually I like to get this one take. I might even record like 8 versions of it and then comp it together. But it looks like for this, I didn't bother doing that. I like the first take. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, usually I do like pretty heavy comping. Sometimes I do it in another project because I know that it's going to take up like a bunch of channels. Although now they've added the new comping feature.
Sure. I was gonna ask you about if you've gotten 11 yet.
Dude, it's a game changer.
It really is.
Total game changer. I used to load up Logic just to do that, just to do the vocal comping in Logic, and yeah, I don't know. I've been like screaming and shouting, asking Ableton to do this for a really long time. Maybe it finally got through. I don't know.
They heard you.
Maybe they heard me. Yeah.
Cool. So basically, what you do is you'll have a main mid layer, and then left and right, kind of similar takes.
Yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll take the phrases that I want delay on them. I make like an entire new channel, and then I just put delay on here. So this is like just wet, like full wet delay.
It all feels empty without you.
And that gives me the opportunity to do like weird shit, like shifting it down an octave and you know, shift it up 2 octaves if you want. Like
Without you.
just creates like cool delay effects. I've been doing that since God knows when. So it's a little technique. I know you can just use sends and this, that, and the other, but this is like a nice flexible way to get, you know, interesting delays and stuff like that.
I was gonna say, it doesn't look like you're really using sends on the vocals at all.
I don't use sends like for pretty much anything other than like chain effect stuff. I don't use the sends at all in Ableton because when it comes to bouncing your stems, it just becomes way more complicated and a nightmare. And I have my template set up from the get-go to be able to stem out really easily.
Can you walk us through your template?
Yeah. Do you want me to open it up?
Yeah, I'm curious.
All right. Okay, hold up.
Wait, yeah, hold on, wait. We might want to wait till the end because I think we're gonna have to redo the listen to thing.
Yeah, true.
Well, why don't you just walk us through the organization of this track specifically?
Yeah, so this is like my slightly older template, but this is like give or take pretty much what I do with most of my tunes. So I have like a drum bus, a sidechain bus, and a sub bus, and a little reference group thing as well. The drums, I have kick and snare, which are triggered through a drum rack, and the drum rack's here, but then I also have all of my sidechain sends here.
Use LFO tool.
Yeah, so interesting enough, I used to use a volume shaper, and I just found that it was really clicky. Like no matter what you do, no matter how how you draw like nicer looking curves, just always a little bit too clicky for me. And I found as soon as I switched to LFO tool, all of that disappeared. And it even has like a de-click function.
The smooth.
Yeah, the smooth thing. So
Mm.
I made like my own rack here, which is like my side chain thing that's built into my template. And what I can do from here, sorry, open it up.
Oh, so you're in 11 right now. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
11. So yeah, from here I can like change the shape of the side chain. I can change the rate, so like the speed, and that's set to hertz instead of it being musical because I just don't need it to be musical. And then yeah, this has got like the smooth option here as well. So that's all just built in into a little rack ready to go. I never really open LFO tool to be honest with you.
Interesting.
And I leave it there.
That's interesting that you use the rate
Yeah.
and not measures.
Yeah. Well, I guess for something like a kick drum or a snare, you really just want like the actual length in milliseconds instead of anything snapped to a grid. Just want to be able to hone it in as tight as possible.
Cool. Dope.
And then yeah, okay. So within my sidechain group, I basically do like most of my mastering processing on my sidechain group, so it doesn't affect my drums at all, and doesn't affect my sub. So like on this, I think I've just got like pretty flat Pro MB
Mm.
and a tiny touch of OTT, and that's pretty. Is there something here? Oh yeah, then a bunch of shit here. If this even turns on, let me have a look. Doesn't even look like I turned that on. Okay.
Okay.
But usually that's got like it's a little rack that I built that's got like some saturation and some extra side boost and drive and stuff like that, and like a transient shaper for a master. But more often than not, I turn it off because it's just a bit like over the top and aggressive.
Mm.
But yeah, I tend to do all of my mastering stuff before it reaches my drums and my sub, so that I can like low cut before it and low cut after it, and I know like give or take there's nothing going to interfere with like my kick drum or sub. And it means that I can like push it into a limiter a bit harder and saturate it a bit more, because usually it's that low end information that like starts to make it distort when you get to higher saturation levels. So yeah, that's how I get things like sounding pretty loud and clear without
So you do you not sidechain your sub?
I sidechain my sub separately, yeah.
Just in a separate situation.
Yeah, separate
Gotcha.
sidechain. And usually that's just like just do it by ear basically.
So you have things routed like this so that your side chain is being compressed and your sub kind of skips that compression and goes to the master. What's on your master?
Nothing. I don't put anything on my master.
Nothing.
A Q3 that's doing very little.
So are you in the red on your master?
Yeah, probably. Let's have a look. Yes, I am. I'm slamming it. 10 dB.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I used to think that like that was an issue until I just started playing out all of the versions that were in the red, and I was like, nah, this sounds fine. Like, and it kind of adds to the quality of the track. It's not like this isn't like a deep tune. It's not like it's not got like, it's a club tune, man. I want it when it drops to just be as loud and harmonically rich as possible, and doesn't seem like the clipping is doing anything like particularly nefarious to my ears. So I just leave it like that. And I've also noticed quite a lot of producers doing very similar things, or just like clipping it using a clipper on the master or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, I just find nothing on there. Just works for me nicely.
So, what about? I want to talk about the drums, but before we get there, I'd like to see what's going on with your synths and
Sure.
kind of what you're doing for layering there.
All right. So start of the tune. Just a nice basic respace, which I'm guessing is, yep, just some unison turned up on initialized wavetables with nothing.
The classic.
Yep,
The best sound in the world, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
It's the best.
And then I got like What is this? Probably just some noise. Yep. Just some sound and some vinyl crackle that like adds some nice nice sound to the intro. So the synths were directly out of my pack, I believe. Yeah, this is just straight out of my pack. Again, not a particularly complicated patch, just like super saws with some volume automation on it and tiny bit of filter. And that's it. I think that is the intro. Yeah, and then the vocal has like some delay on it and stuff. But... Somatic impact and a barely alive impact, and yeah, a downlifter from my sample pack as well. That's it for the intro.
Dope.
And I think, oh yeah, again, an ARP straight from my sample pack. Another ARP from my sample pack.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, all of this is my sample pack. The impacts, the uplifters. Yeah. Yep, all of that. And then when it gets to the drop, what do we have? Okay, there's some synth stuff going on here. Okay, so this is like the same loop as the intro, but I have affected it differently. So, okay, I think I'm just going into Serum Effects or like a comb or something.
Sure.
Yep, comb plus. And then I've got like this sine crush thing going on here. So, which is a pretty...
The classic.
Yep, sine into sine, with a bit of vibrato, I think, set to a macro. What else we got here? Don't remember that even being in the song, but apparently it's there. Okay, so that's weird. That's like, yeah, this is like a weird old patch that shouldn't sound like this at all. And if I actually went to this preset, it would sound nothing like it. I don't know why I put it in here, but it sounds good in the mix, I guess.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, just a little layer in there. I think that's it, honestly. And then like the vocal repeated. Oh, and the sub. Whew. Okay, I think this is my sub rack. Yeah, this is a sub rack that I have, like, again, as part of my template. All it really is two operators. One. Okay. This actually it's kind of cool. So what I can do from the rack here is I can control the different harmonics. So I set this operator into like straight up mode, so like everything's nothing's being FM, they're all just going out by themselves. And then each layer just adds where is it? Oh, yeah, I can't click them. Oh, this is stupid. So each layer just adds like an extra little partial. So you can just kind of fatten up the sub however much you want to, however much different harmonics you want to add to it. Because it's doing it with FM and it's just like directly with the harmonics, it's a super clean way of doing it.
Running in parallel.
This is kind of like sent parallel with some white noise that is then being low cut, and then both of those run into a saturator, like pretty heavy, to give it the farty white noise sound. And it looks like I've also done like a Hause effect thing, Hause effect, I don't know how you say it.
Hause
effect on the just on the white noise, so it just spreads a bit nicer. But yeah, that's basically the entire tune. And then I think like the second time it comes around is like another synth, this synth here. Again, a one shot straight out my pack with very little on it apart from this convolution reverb, which adds something, I guess. But yeah, like this was like the second tune I made that was just like drag and drop basically. Before then, I was putting quite a lot of my synths, pretty much everything in a project, and like CPU going crazy the whole time. And now, when it comes to making a tune, I just think like, what do I want to make? Have I made stuff similar to that already? If I haven't, maybe I should, before I make this tune, make like 30 ideas or 20 ideas similar to that, and then I'll have like something to pick from when it comes to writing.
Yeah. Dope. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the drums.
All right. Drums, I believe, are super simple. It's a loop. It's a loop from my sample pack.
Cool.
Yeah, so loop from a sample pack with some tops from a sample pack. And just a hi-hat. And this is just doing all the sidechain triggering. It's not actually making any noise. Yeah. So literally everything in this tune is a sample pack.
Dope.
Yeah.
This is great, man. Well, cool. Let me take a look into the questions here. See what people got questions about. And then maybe we can talk about some of your templates.
Yeah, because the templates are really where the songs come from now.
Yeah,
let's be like, this is just like the final project. It's just audio that's already predetermined at this point. So I think looking at templates will help.
Yeah, let's why don't you open that up, and then I'll ask you some questions here. So
Cool.
Nicolette wants to know what the best festival you've ever played is.
Best festival I ever played was Woodstock Festival in Poland. There were 750,000 people.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I've seen a video of that before?
Yeah, if you search online, like, it's Modestep Yellow Claw remix. Modestep Sing Yellow Claw remix. The music video to that is just footage from that festival. I've never in my life stepped on stage and just been like, not be able to see how far people were going. It just kept going and kept going. Now again, like a light would flick out into the crowd and you'd be like, oh shit, it's still going. It's like,
wow,
cities long. Like,
that's insane.
bananas, yeah.
I love how you had an instant answer for that. That means it was serious.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that forever that's going to be my answer. I'm never going to be able to top it. Like I've played so many amazing other festivals that I could give as an answer.
Of course.
Just, you can't beat.
That's insane. Okay. Dragon wants to know when we will get a Protohype and Modestep song.
When are we gonna get one?
I don't know. I got one on ice for you right now.
All right, I'll send it through.
All right, cool. Kostak wants to know any vocal contact libraries in the works.
Vocal contact libraries. That'd be really hard, I think. Like making a contact thing of your voice would be.
Have you ever used Exhale before?
EXO.
Exhale.
Oh, Exhale. No.
Like the output plugin.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't.
That's an amazing one. I know he had mentioned earlier something about working for output, but
I've done a bunch of the arcade samples for output actually.
Sick.
Over the last year.
Okay. Tactic wants to know, when bouncing out samples, you export them with anything on the master. I think he's talking about for a sample pack.
Yeah, so for a sample pack, I try and make all of the samples like as dynamic as they need to be and then normalize them up to 0. So I guess there isn't anything on the master, but there might have been like while I was processing it, there might have been something that, cap the master volume in some way. Yeah.
What do you do to ensure that all of the sounds in the sample pack are the same volume?
Go through them one by one. Really, I've actually had like issues before where it's like, shit, like all of these snares, like this whole bunch of snares, just don't hit the same as the rest, and then you just have to go through and reprocess them.
Really?
Luckily, like Isotope has a plugin that you can just batch process stuff, so that makes things like a bit better. It's like RX. You can yeah, you can just like set you want to normalize it and then compress it and then do it, and it will just like run through. You just drag like 30 files and it will just do them all, and then yeah,
What?
that makes it a bit easier if you need.
Really? I've never heard of that. RX, is it RX-7 or is it just RX?
RX, yeah, just
Okay, RX. Okay, because I have RX-7 that I've been using to like extract vocals from tracks.
yeah, you can do stuff like that in RX as well. But
Okay, so it must be the same thing.
yeah, it's the same thing, but I think
Cool.
the batching is only like the recent RX9 or whatever.
Okay.
the last one is, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at some of these templates here.
All right, so let's have a look. Okay, here's a good example.
Hopefully, you'll just have to throw listen to on the master, and it'll be the same link.
Yeah, I think it should. I
Cool,
can't imagine
cool,
it's going to make a new one every
That would be
time.
silly.
Yeah. Let's give it a go. Okay, tell me if you can hear this. Might be really loud and horrible.
We can hear it.
Okay,
Not really loud and horrible. It's at a good volume.
okay, cool. Sorry, that was my table. All right, so this is like just a prime example of what I might do for a template. This is just a shit ton of OTTs in a row. And wow, that's a lot of OTTs in a row.
Wow. We're looking at 50 maybe. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, so I'll take that and then I'll just throw random shit onto it. So, I don't know. Something. And then
Yeah.
just like record the best bits. And then anything that's good goes in the sample pack. So, like. So that's one example of like a processing thing. I'll just open up a few of them so you can have a look.
Yeah.
All right, so this one was for acid base. Let's do. All right, yeah. So this will just be like a single patch in Serum. And then what I would have done is just gone into this patch and gone record that and then mess with it a bit more. So and then I just have a channel here set up and then I just record it. And then one of those will be a sample, and then anything that I like ends up, I just throw it to the right for later, and then I go through and yeah. So like these are all different variations of that one patch. And I'll just try and make like shit tons of whatever I can get out of one patch. I just try and rinse and repeat and repeat and repeat, and then you just end up with folders and folders and folders of stuff like this. Bass Evolution 2, just the one shots in this pack. It's like
There's a lot of them.
these. There's so many, and it's just from doing this, just from sitting there with like one patch and just change it, record, change it, and just keep doing that over and over again. And like you'll find that a lot of my templates are that. It's just kind of set me up to be able to do a certain thing, and then it's just for me to tweak a couple of things to get a whole bunch of more content out of that project file. So like this one's just like white noise riser stuff, and it's kind of like mundane shit to do, but it can be fun and creative if you're not in the mood to like write a music or be expressive. Like make white noise risers. I mean. And that'll just be like a couple of patches. All I need to do now is just like look at the patch, decide where the tonality is coming from, and here it's like the noise part, and maybe I'll just choose a different wavetable to be the noise, or a different sample to be the noise, and then mess with some of the LFOs, mess with some other stuff, and then record it back out.
Sweet. I don't think I've ever seen anyone more organized.
Oh yeah,
This is impressive.
so unorganized before I moved to America, and then once you do like one or two sessions with like Valentin, like
Yeah.
Natural Riot or Barely Alive, you're like, huh, I need to get my shit together. Okay, I understand like how these guys can do what they do, and it's just pure like perseverance, and they've just done it so many times. They've just repeated the same process so many times that's like ingrained in them now. So, but they also have this huge catalog of like samples and patches, and I came to America with not a single sample or patch to my name. Everything I ever made in the history of Modestep, I made from scratch and then and there in the session. It was usually horrendous and would take me weeks. And then I come over here and I'm like, okay. The reason they can make their music so complicated and so like sound design rich is because they spend hours on this shit, man. Like just messing with it and just bouncing stuff out and being really organized and going, okay, I need the sample. Boom, they've got like 5 versions of that sample ready to go, and that just changed the way I work straight away. I was like, okay, these guys are on it. They're like, they're treating this like a computer game or like something that, I don't know, something you like collect and build yourself. And as soon as I kind of got that perspective, I was like, that works for me. That's my kind of creative style. And I just hate sessions where I'm sitting there tweaking a bass sound and like trying to fit it in the track and it's just not working, and then I get disheartened with the tune. But ever since I've started doing this with sample packs, it's just kind of alleviated a lot of that stress, and I tend to get tunes done in like 1 or 2 days max.
Wow. That's such a cool and refreshing approach that I do not do, that I'm now going to do. I'm definitely going to try it out.
Work for everyone. That's the thing. Like, I've worked with a lot of producers that have different approaches. Like, I spent a lot of time in the studio with Culprit, and his approach is just like the opposite. He's got like no samples that he works from, but he makes all of these samples do something with plugins. But yeah, it's just different approaches, different like ways of being creative. And I guess I've been doing this long enough now that I've got to work and sit next to some of the best guys in this game and see how they do what they do. And I've been able to fall on, yeah, I've been put into rooms where it's lucky for me, and I get to learn off these really talented people. And
so would you attribute some of this like kind of newer, fresher version of Modestep to some of the Disciple guys?
Without doubt, without any doubt at all. Like, moving here not only gave me like the kick up the arse to learn this stuff, but it made me enjoy it. And because I'm with these people who just like live and breathe it, it just became living and breathing it to me as well. Like I said, I was never a producer. Sound design just wasn't my thing, but I always knew I could hear things, and I know what I wanted in my head. You know, it was just about being able to get the tool set in order to actually make that stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's great. I love to hear that. I mean, I remember seeing when you squatted up with Disciple, and it definitely was not a coincidence that things just seem to just start raining good news for you.
Yeah, and like they just work in such a like natural and yeah, Disciple's just good like that, man. There's no I've worked with other labels, like, not to mention any names, but I've worked with other labels, and there's this like real competitive don't look at what I'm doing kind of thing, like don't copy my homework kind of attitude. And this is my secret, and you know, don't take away my DJ fees. If you know my secret, you take away my DJ fees kind of shit. And come over to Disciple, and it's just a big family, and everyone just wants to share, and everyone wants to work with each other, and everyone just wants to like be part of a family and just something. And it's refreshing, man, because after 10 years of being in the industry, where, you know, I've been everywhere from like Interscope Records with Steve Berman, you know, I've been all the way to there to like tiny labels and self-releasing, self-managing. Like, over 10 years, I've pretty much done it all. So to land in like a nice, cool, family-oriented label, it's sick, man. It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's great, man. That gets me hyped, dude. That gets me excited. I love to hear that. All right, let's answer some more of these questions. Two Guns wants to know any tips towards gluing layers and parallel distorting.
Any tips towards layering? Yeah, so like with layering, I try and make sure that everything that I'm layering has its own position to sit in both like the frequency spectrum, but also like the stereo field. So if I'm layering something and like the main power of my bass, for example, say I'm layering a bass and like the main power of my bass, I'm gonna want to come from like 200 hertz down the center. Like I want to make sure nothing interferes with that. Anything I layer, it's got to be like above there and to the side. So I just make sure everything's got its own place to sit in the mix. Unless you're deliberately trying to smush things together, which also works. And like with modern approach of just oversaturating and then compressing, then oversaturating again, like how I just did with the OTTs before, you can just get weird, great results. And I think like the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of producers coming through with less like technical prowess and more just this sounds cool and I'm gonna put it in this rhythm, which I really like.
I agree.
Either one works. There's no right or wrong, you know.
Yeah, I layering it is an art form in itself for sure. But I feel like some people are able to get away without doing it.
Yeah,
Like
definitely. Space Laces, Culprit. Like a lot of these people try and keep one sound going on at once,
Right.
and but even a lot of their synths are like layered so well that you probably don't even know.
right. Triples wants to know what you use to record your vocals. Like what's your vocal recording setup?
So it's this microphone, an Aston Spirit, which I highly recommend. Although Behringer just bought the company, so I'm not sure like how it's gonna stay, whether the microphones are gonna be as great as they are. But it's a very cheap microphone. I have like some pretty expensive ones, and there's like $300, but it compares to like $3,000 microphones. Like it's really really good. So I've got that microphone. I usually record with this. Sorry, that was probably really loud. I'm
Bong.
sorry. Someone sampled that and turned that into a
That exactly. That definitely sounds like a donk.
yeah, some anvil snares. Yeah, so I've got like this halo thing, which is like mic goes there, so that blocks out a bunch of the sound. Sorry, there's like helicopters fucking flying.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly. And everything records into a Neve 1077, I believe it is, or a 1070 stereo preamp. And yeah, that goes into my sound card. So like it is every step of the way is a good signal, you know.
Right.
But you can get the same results with just this microphone and like a cheap interface.
Yeah, that mic does sound amazing. Just even with you just chatting.
Yeah, it's awesome. Highly recommend it.
Okay. Gazeka wants to know, he says, thanks for taking your time to vibe with us. I wanted to ask if your tracks that clip are mastered again for SoundCloud or such before being uploaded on there. Does clipping cause issue in terms of compatibility with streaming sound engines?
So I know some people that run their tunes through like to get like volume penalties and stuff like that. So there's websites where you can upload your WAV file, and then it will tell you how much Spotify is going to lower it.
Yeah.
Based on, you know, like the overall loudness of your track. But I just don't care about any of that stuff. I'll be honest with you. At this point, the reason I make tunes loud is so that when they're played on big sound systems, they sound a certain way. And yeah, like if I'm making a song that I want to be like really enjoyed in a home environment, just like has pure dynamics and warmth and all that stuff, I'm not going to clip the master. There's no need to do it. But for this specific type of genre, I feel like it doesn't really matter because you're making distorted noise. That is what dubstep is. So what's another clip, you know?
Exactly. Okay. Did Pat do the drums in Bass Evolution?
Did Pat do the drums? Okay, so Pat has done like we work kind of interesting. We do like days on end sessions where we mic up an entire drum kit and we get like brand new different drum kit pieces in, and we get like one shots of absolutely everything. Sorry. We get one shots of absolutely everything. So right here we have like labeled up all of the kit pieces, and then you won't be able to hear those. So these are all just like yeah, tons of samples of like different snare drums and then different velocities and different ways of hitting them. And then as well as that, Pat will also record a ton of like loops, fills, and all that stuff. So on Bass Evolution, the first one, I believe like half of the fills were Pat's fills. There was a bunch of tom hits and snare hits that were layered from Pat's stuff. So we kind of work in this like hybrid way. I kind of use Pat as like my own sample library, and then yeah, like turn it into a shit ton of samples, then like bring it in and process it that way.
Cool. Dope. Kid named Go says, what is your approach to sound design? It's a broad question, but
I mean, like, there's an answer to it.
yeah.
Noise. That's like that is my approach, really. Yeah, I've seen some sound designers who like they imagine a sound in their head and then they can get really close to it. Like I can get kind of close to it and then I get creative from there. And really, it's just experimenting, putting things where they're not supposed to go, and just not being afraid to do something in your DAW. Like, there's no penalties for doing anything wrong, you know? Just
Right.
experiment.
I like that. Last question here, and see if we'll get some more in here, and we'll just, I don't want to hold you too long, but
All good.
do you remember what your first release was after you came to the US?
Yeah, so that would have been technically it's like the Echoes EP, but I think we had a tune called Whip that was on like the Disciple compilation thing, and that was like the first introduction to the label. I think, was that the first thing? Oh no, we did a song with called By My Side with Barely Alive and Virtual Riot. But yeah, when we moved there, it was a tune called Whip, which was like no other Modestep tune before then, and kind of set like a different tone to.
Yeah, that was a heavy one.
Yeah, a slapper.
Yes. Will you ever make a beefed up version of Sunlight using these new skills you got since joining Disciple? How many questions do you get about Sunlight?
A lot, but it's all good.
I mean, it's a blessing.
If it wasn't for the fact that I have a Virtual Riot remix of Sunlight, a Culprit remix of Sunlight, I've got like a Culprit Jump Up remix of Sunlight. I've got like all these legendary producers who have made these amazing edits, so I just play those when it comes to DJing. But I probably should do my own version. Maybe like for
A VIP for a live show or something?
maybe like a 10th anniversary release or something, because I think after 10 years I get the masters back from.
Who released that track? I was going to say, so that was a major.
Yeah, that was Universal, but after 10 years it comes back to me. So I think this year actually.
I was going to say, we got to be close to 10.
Yeah, if not, maybe past it. So
Be like, give me that shit back. I'm going to put out the VIP on Disciple now that you want redistribute.
I can do that.
You can.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they sign contracts, they're like, oh, 10 years. I won't get there, you know, like.
You do. You
get there.
You should hope you get there, you know. You should really hope that 10 years is, yeah, you should hope you get there.
That's so true. That is a fucking valid one. You know what? Just random thought that just popped in my head when you're talking about remixes. The X-Core remix of the Tomorrow Is Another Day used to be one of my that video was so sick.
Again, like one of the funniest fucking days. All of those music videos were some of the funniest times that we've ever had, man. Like getting away with just doing outrageous shit and just calling it a music video.
Yeah.
Kind of what it was at that point. But yeah, dude, like X-Core, like he released some music recently, you know. He released an EP and I feel like it totally went under the radar.
Really? I thought he was a manager now.
He makes house music, doesn't he? What's his house alias called?
Man, I haven't seen him since the Firepower tour in 2014 or something like that.
Yeah, dude, it's been like since like 2015. Because he used to come to the one night that we had in London for dubstep. Did you ever go to
No. I knew about it. I never got a chance to go though.
So he was there, like hanging out every week there. But I think, yeah, there's no more dubstep in London. So I mean, there's nothing in London right now. But the last 2 years, there's been nothing.
Well, maybe things will change soon. All right. Let's see. Any chance you'll make some tunes with Pelisex? I don't know. Pelisex.
Ooh, Helisex. Fuck yeah, I would love to. They make some dope tunes.
He said Madi and y'all both on with some Vox on a tune would be dope.
Yeah, I would love to.
He's telling the Helidubs to stop singing in the shower and send you something.
Please do. Send them, please. Those guys
Sick.
are so sick.
Yeah, dude. Cool. Last one, and then we'll wrap it up here. Tactic wants to know if you use any type of auto tuner or Melodyne.
Yes, I do. So I used to use the Antares, like the typical go-to auto tune, but switched to the Waves real time.
That's the one I use too. It's fire.
It's great. It's amazing. It destroys your CPU if you have more than like 5 or 6 go, but it's great. I don't think you can beat that one, honestly.
Which is interesting because that plugin is literally meant to be used with live performance. So it should probably be meant to be easy on your computer if you got a couple of them.
Should be. I might have a word with them and try and make like a light version, please, because
they have the Waves tune light, but they don't have the real tune light.
Yeah. Time one is it's a chunky boy.
Okay. We had one more sneak in here. Is there something, or is there anything you're keeping an ear out for to find a solid timbre in the basic oscillator setup? Like in your Fallout tutorial you did. Find a solid gritty timbre and work from that. How do you not second guess what it's like or tweak too much? I guess it's kind of like what... I mean, the way I kind of am understanding that would be like, what are you listening for at the beginning, maybe? You know, like...
Yeah. I think I know what they mean. Like, what timbres am I listening out for? Like, to begin at the start. I kind of like approach sound design in a pretty similar way every time. And I usually start with like one of the basic shapes. You'll rarely see me use like weird wavetables or anything like that. I'm more often than not, like 90% of my sounds are just like a sine or a square or a saw. And that's it.
All right, man. Yeah. Cool. Well, great. This has been awesome. Thanks to everyone for coming to hang out, man. And thank you, Josh, for fucking chilling, dude.
Oh man, well, thank you for having me. I'm so sorry that it took 3 months to get here, but
Listen, man, I'm a patient man. I knew it would be worth it. I'm grateful that you came on and did this with us tonight, man.
anytime, man. I'll be happy to come back.
Cool. We'll have to do another round too. And remember, the sample pack drops at midnight. Is this Bass Evolution 2?
Bass Evolution 2. Even more bass for your evolution.
Evolution. I love it, man. Evolution.
Evolution, man.
All right, man. Well, cool, brother. I appreciate you, man. And I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Peace.
All right, guys. Yo, shout out to everybody who came and hang out. That was fucking awesome. If you want to watch the video again tomorrow, you can subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Uber Kid. Shout out to everyone who donated to Modestep and everyone who subscribed tonight. Otherwise, it'll be up on YouTube in like 2 weeks or something like that. Cool. You guys are fucking awesome. That was sick. Everyone enjoy the rest of their week. And man, that was super dope. I can't wait to watch that again. You guys rock. Thanks, y'all.